Hello and greetings. You are listening to Light Up with Shwa. It's a weekly podcast on conscious living and parenting. I hope you already are subscribed to it and listening or watching it on different channels, on YouTube, on the Groton channel, and I do post it on Facebook. I have a page which is by the name of Light Up with Shwa, and you can watch there as well. The links are on LinkedIn, Twitter. Audio podcast is on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Castbox, iTunes. And I hope you can send me your feedback and comments for the previous seasons. I am beginning this year 2020, with a new season, season 3. So I wanted to bring an Islamic perspective to our issue of environment today. Islamic perspective seems to be missing in our mainstream media, in its discussions and in its debate. And people really don't know what Muslims are doing about the environment, how they are contributing into this topic. I hope to achieve that and bring the Muslim viewpoint, Muslim perspective into our discussion and our debates. So my plan is to bring guests and talk about it through my research and my understanding of it. This is an important topic, as a well-known professor, Ibrahim Özdemir from Turkey, who is a very prominent environmentalist, believes that the growing number of Muslim environmentalists can find inspiration for their aggressive campaign against this global warming. And so he believes that there is global warming going on, and there are scientific evidences that exist. Professor Ibrahim Özdemir is author of The Ethical Dimension of Human Attitude Towards Nature, a Muslim Perspective. So he will be soon coming to this podcast. He will be my guest, and I will be mentioning a little more about his article and his journal article, which was published in December 2017. I will leave the links below in show notes, and you can always go to that. I will mention a little bit about Dr. Muhammad Iqbal and environmental ethics. He wrote that article. Mr. Ibrahim wrote this on Islamic ethics and environment. Professor Ibrahim has also signed a preamble, and I had the opportunity to speak to him last week, and that's why I'm mentioning that hopefully he will be on my podcast soon. So stay tuned, and he is excited to talk about it as well. We need to pay a closer look and closer attention to our environment today and see what are Muslims doing in their communities. And this, in my view, since I am doing this conscious living and conscious parenting topic, and under this I am covering various topics as I am doing environment, because it's connected to our homes, our communities, schools, food, everything. So environment is what we have in our home also. So that's where we begin, how we are aware of it, how we educate our children and everybody who comes across in our life. The document that I want to mention, the Islamic Declaration on Global Climate Change, is a preamble, which I will mention it today and leave a link for it also. And I believe that in that it says that equilibrium, which is mizan, an Arabic word for it, in our individual lives has everything to do with the equilibrium of our planet. So we are all connected, and everything has an effect on the other. IPCC is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So it's very important organization that works on this issue. So overall, people have made greater changes to ecosystems in the last half of the 20th century. That's what the document says. And this Millennium Ecosystem Assessment is backed by over 1,300 scientists from 95 countries. And these changes have enhanced human well-being, but have been accompanied by ever-increasing degradation of our environment. So there are warnings from various scientific communities around the world, and we need to pay attention to it. The declaration also says that it affirms that God created the earth in perfect equilibrium, a mizan, in a balance. By Allah's immense mercy, we have been given fertile land, fresh air, clean water, and all the good things on earth that make our lives here viable and delightful. The earth functions in natural seasonal rhythms and cycles, a climate in which living beings, including humans, thrive. The present climate change catastrophe is a result of the human disruption of this balance. So the scientists agree, and many people who are researching and following the earth patterns are saying that we need to pay attention to it. Allah raised the heaven and established the balance so that you would not transgress the balance. Give just weight. Do not skimp in the balance. Allah laid out the earth for all living creatures. This is from the Quran, chapter 55, ayat or verses 7 to 10. So I will be quoting Quran and the prophetic tradition that coincides with our environmental issues, how we are guided, how we are told about different things, how to take care of animals, water, everything. So without going into too many details, I will mention it in my next episode, and also leave in my show notes some more details regarding this issue. In the declaration, it is recognized that the corruption, which is fasad in Arabic, that humans have caused on earth in our relentless pursuit of economic growth and consumption. Its consequences have been global climate change, which is our present concern, in addition to contamination and befoulment of the atmosphere, land, inland water systems, and seas, soil erosion, deforestation, and desertification, destruction, degradation, and fragmentation of the habitats of the Earth's communities of life, with devastation of some of the most biologically diverse and productive ecosystems such as rainforests, freshwater wetlands, and coral reefs. You can go and research on these topics and see what's happening through the right resources and sources, genuine sources online, or if you find in your respective libraries. There is impairment of ecosystem benefits and services. So there is a lot going on. There is a damage to human health, including a host of modern day diseases, and that is all contribution of our not taking care of our environment. So in the Quran, in chapter 30, verse 41, it says, corruption has appeared on land and sea by what people's own hands have wrought, that Allah may let them taste some consequences of their deeds so that they may turn back. The name of the faith is Islam. And it is very much a practical faith. It connects to our everyday lives. People who really take guidance connect to it, read it, and find solutions and wisdom for our daily living and how to live a productive, successful, and prosperous life. My purpose and my goal is not to preach or convert anybody, but my purpose is to use and to learn for myself and to educate through my podcast about what is in the Quran, which is a book of a practical book which teaches us how to live our life. So it is not to be just recited and left alone, but it is to be utilized for the benefits of our life. We are also very much accountable for everything, and that also we learn from the Quran in chapter 99, verses 7 to 8. It says, "Then whoever has done an atom's weight of good shall see it, and whoever has done an atom's weight of evil shall see it." So I think we all know, if those who believe in the law of retribution, this is the truth for those who believe in it. And I am not saying again that everybody has to believe, and the Quran tells us that those who want to believe in it, believe, and those who don't, they are free to move on or not be bothered by it. The Islamic Declaration on Climate Change also details what Messenger Muhammad, peace be upon him, has said. In view of these considerations, we affirm that our responsibility as Muslims is to act according to the example of the Prophet Muhammad, God's peace and blessings be upon him. And he declared and protected the rights of all living beings, outlawed the custom of burying infant girls alive, prohibited wanton killing of living beings for sport, guided his companions to conserve water even in washing for prayer, forbade the felling of trees in the desert, ordered a man who had taken some nestlings from their nest to return them to their mother, and when he came upon a man who had lit a fire on an ant hill, commanded to put it out, and he also established inviolable zones around Makkah and Al-Madinah, within which native plants may not be felled or cut and wild animals may not be hunted or disturbed. Established protected areas for the conservation and sustainable use of rangelands, plant cover, and wildlife. That's what we do in US, and I am sure there are other countries who do it. And this is amazing that we try to conserve our lands. He lived a minimalist kind of life, free of excess, waste, and ostentation. Didn't believe in extravaganza lifestyle, renewed and recycled his meager possessions by repairing or giving them away, ate simple, healthy food which only occasionally included meat, took delight in the created world, and was, in the words of the Quran, a mercy to all beings. So next time I'll talk more about what is in this declaration and the tradition of Prophet Muhammad, how he guides us to take care of our environment. There is a call to all the nations in this declaration on the climate change. There is a Conference of the Parties, COP, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, and all nations and their leaders, and to corporations, financiers, and business sector, to all the Muslims, wherever they may be. This is a call, this paper calls everyone to tackle habits, mindsets, and the root causes of climate change, environmental degradation, and the loss of biodiversity in their particular spheres of influence. So following the examples of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and bring about a resolution to the challenges that now face us. So there is one more chapter that I would like to mention that says in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 37 says, "Do not strut arrogantly on the earth. You will never split the earth apart, nor will you ever rival the mountain's stature." We bear in mind the words of our Prophet, and the world is sweet and verdant, and verily Allah has made you stewards in it. So, and He sees how you acquit yourselves. Thank you for listening to this podcast, this episode on environment. This is a brief introduction to it, and I hope you will continue to stay tuned to this series on environment. I have some very amazing guests coming up. Please subscribe, rate, share, and send your comments, feedback, and let me know what you think. You can also directly visit my website, lightupvichwa.com. My links are available on most of all the social media: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and you can hear the podcast on Castbox, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and of course on the YouTube. So I wish you all the best, and please take care of yourself, your environment. Let's bring awareness. Doesn't matter who we are. We share this earth, and this is my message. Let's be all together in this endeavor, and let's see how we can make a difference to our environment, to this globe. Thank you.